Good morning! This is another what I eat in a day, or good afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching this, but it's morning for me. So I'm going to start out with some breakfast. As you may have realized in the title, this is going to be a unique what I eat in a day because I'm going to try to eat clearanced foods all day. So I actually got these apples on the 99-cent rack. I got 2 of them actually, but I won't be going through all of those today. So for breakfast, I also have some bread, some avocado, and some yogurt that I was thinking about just doing avocado toast or something this morning. But then my husband said that pancakes kind of sound good. So I was thinking, I have made apple pancakes before. So you just slice the apples in like medallions and then you put them in batter and throw them on, and that's your pancake. So I might try that out as well, but let's just get to it. Okay, so we have quite a few good options here. As you can see, we already broke into this bread, but this is what I was going to use for avocado toast. There's some mashed avocado I got for clearance. It has some everything bagel seasoning in on it, so that's nice. Handful of different yogurts. This one is chocolate coconut. Got some strawberry and a mango one. There's also some probiotic little cultured almond yogurt drinks. Not sure about those, but try them out for clearance. And then there's also cinnamon raisin English muffins. And I already showed you the apples, so we'll see what we can do with this.
So I need to core and slice the apple, and then I have my own pancake mix that I'm pouring in here. Just mixing in a little bit of plant milk, some cinnamon and sugar, and just dipping each medallion in and putting it on the grill. This is a great meal for when you're trying to eat a little bit healthier, but you also want something that is warm and comforting. And as far as cost goes, the apple cost 20 cents from the reduced price bag, and the flour and pancake mixture cost probably about maybe 10 cents. So all in all, it was about 30 cents, and my husband only ate half, so his breakfast was actually 15 cents. We also decided to get the juicer out, and I juiced about 2.5 apples for him with a little bit of lime that was left over and about to go bad.
The best apple juice you ever had?
Has some bite to it. That's pretty good.
Now moving on to my breakfast, I already toasted 1 piece of toast and put a little bit of butter on top. Now I'm going to use almost half of this avocado mix that has some everything bagel seasoning in it, which was really great because I didn't really have to add too much to it. As you'll see later, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of hemp seeds on for some omegas and a little bit more protein, and then I'm cutting up this whole apple here, so that's 20 cents there. 1 piece of bread was about 8 cents from the $1.29 loaf, and about half of the avocado was 12 cents, so we're looking at about 40 cents here. And then I did choose the higher price yogurt because I like the flip cups, and that was 79 cents. So we're looking at about $1.19. If I would have went with the cheaper yogurt, it would have been about 90 cents.
Alright, it is lunchtime and I'm still in my robe. Yes, I know it's robe season in case you're wondering. So I stay in it pretty much the entire winter. So this is me. Anyways, so for lunch today I'm going to be making, I got some sweet potatoes on clearance, already cubed up and everything. I actually had them in my freezer, but I took them out yesterday to thaw because I knew I was going to make this recipe today. I also have some potatoes that I got in a clearance produce bag, just like I showed you this morning with the apples. I've already used a handful of them, so I'm just going to use the rest of those. And pretty much the rest of the recipe is just a bunch of seasonings, some olive oil, and a little bit of broth and plant milk. So I got some thyme, oregano, basil, rosemary, and parsley. It's like an Italian herb sweet potato recipe. The recipe only calls for sweet potatoes, but I'm not a huge fan of sweet potatoes, so I do kind of half and half. I am going to double the recipe because it only calls for 2 sweet potatoes worth of soup, and that's just not enough for us. So I do half and half, and it tastes much better to me. I'm more of a savory type person. If you don't really like sweet potatoes, I would suggest trying this recipe because it kind of mutes a little bit of the sweet potato. It doesn't have a super sweet taste, but it's really, really good. The oil and all the herbs and everything. It's a very simple recipe, but I love it. I do it all the time. So I'm gonna make that for lunch. I've already turned on the oven, so I'm just gonna prep everything else, and here we go.
So this recipe does say to use a glass baking dish, but I'm not a very good listener and it turned out just the same anyways. So you can definitely just put it on a sheet pan if you want to. I'm pouring on the seasonings now and going to put it in the oven for 350. I will leave the recipe down below. Like I said, I'm doubling the recipe, but when I double the recipe, I actually don't add double the amount of liquids. The recipe calls for 3 cups of plant milk and I think 2 cups of the broth, and that's all I used. So I doubled the amount of potatoes, but I used the same amount of liquid, and I like it a little bit thicker, but you can choose to do whatever you wish. And the total out-of-pocket cost for this recipe was about 80 cents per serving.
Dinner time is here. There's these really cool meal kits, although that sucks they're in a bunch of plastic. They actually, you can see here, there's noodles already in there, so that's super cool. And then obviously a sauce packet, but if you don't like the type of sauce, then you can always leave it out or put a different one in there. This one is a little bit smaller, so I think I'm gonna do without this, but I have had this one before and it is good. This ginger soy, I think these veggies look a little bit more up my alley. That's what I'm feeling tonight. So I think I'm gonna do this one and then save this one for another day. So after I picked out this for dinner, I was thinking, since it already has some snap peas in it and it has shredded Brussels sprouts, I actually bought a ton of Brussels sprouts. They were 50 cents for a pound and a half. So I'll cut some of those up as well as these snap peas and throw them in to bulk it up a little bit more.
So as you can see, I threw in a couple handfuls of the snap peas and I cut up the Brussels sprouts into quarters and threw those in as well. Now I'm throwing in a little bit of vegetable broth just because I knew I threw in those extra vegetables and wanted a little bit more flavor in there, so I thought it would saute up really well. Now I can add the noodles into the mixture. I love that there was noodles in this whole meal kit. I do wish there was a little bit more. It seems like the cover was a little bit deceiving. I know I threw in some more vegetables so it looks like there's less, but I'm a carb girl, so I'm just always gonna wish there's more. This ginger soy marinade was actually really good. I did add a little bit more soy sauce just because, again, I added more vegetables in there, so I wanted a little bit more flavor, but I really did enjoy the sauce for someone who never had Asian growing up and is pretty picky about sauces. Now here is the semi-final product, giving you a comparison to what it looks like on the bag, and it did pretty good. Again, a little deception with how many noodles were in there, but overall, good.
So now that my meal is done, I was thinking I wish I had some tofu or something to put in it that was on clearance, but I remember I had purchased some edamame quite a while ago on clearance. So I'm going to go ahead and cook one of these up and throw in some more so that I can have a little bit more protein.
So after all the additions, this whole pan was about $3.50, so per serving you're looking at about 88 cents.
And to top off the clearance what I eat in a day, I'm gonna go ahead and have some vanilla ice cream, put a couple toppings on maybe, and call it a night.
Yes, I know you've been wondering, and yes, I'm a vanilla person. You can put whatever toppings you want, and they won't clash, and it's just the best. Fight me in the comments, I don't care. But if you haven't had vegan ice cream lately, definitely try it out. It has come so far. Or the first time that I tried it in 2014, it's so good, and to put this Reese's topping on top, it makes it even better. Today, all in all, the meals cost me $2.55 when I averaged out my breakfast with mine and my husband's. So I ate under $3 today, which I'm super excited about. Ice cream doesn't count because it's extra and it's delicious and it's calorie free and free. So still under $3. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!